Birmingham, where you're always assured of a warm welcome.
Tory scum, get out of Brum! Tory scum, get out of Brum! Tory scum, get out of Brum! Tory scum, get out of Brum!
Tory scum, get out of Brum. Tory scum, get out. You know, it's catchy, but I wish they'd held the conference in West Bromwich or Sutton Coldfield, if only to make the lefty morons' rhyming dictionary work a little harder. As our French friends would say, où sont les Tory scum d'antan? It's worth getting chanted at by morons if you're the party of Sir Keith Joseph and Nicholas Ridley, Nigel Lawson and Norman Tebbit. But for the party of Penny Mordaunt and Sajid Jabbit, I'm real scum. And I don't recognise myself in these faint-hearted, constantly cringing, woker-than-thou pseudo-scum. What have the lefties got to complain about? Today's Tory scum are as net zero as you, they're as multiculti as you, they're as trans as you, they're as clap like seals for the NHS as you. The only difference is that they want to get to the lefty utopia, which will be like Mad Max on the M6. They want to get to that lefty utopia in third gear, while you hardcore types just want to floor it. Oh, and they're as squeamish about the reality of, say, Pakistani Muslim rape gangs operating with impunity in Labour towns up and down England as the lefties are. Our friend Samantha Smith, who has been on this show many times and was sexually abused in Telford for over a decade, from the age of 5, hell of a thing, and she survived it, and we congratulate her on that. But it was no thanks to the Telford Council or Telford officialdom in general. Samantha tweeted yesterday, during the leadership race, both candidates promised to tackle grooming gangs, to support victims of child sexual abuse, and to deport foreign criminals. I want to know how Truss's government will keep that promise. Indeed, both Liz Truss and Rishi Sunak were rather concerned about the issue when they were campaigning for the top job. It's all gone a bit quiet since then. And that means you might get the impression that their occasional genuflections on the issue is just boob bait for the rubes. So speaking of deporting foreigners, how's that going? Well, here's a headline for you. UK government cancels weddings at Victorian Country Mansion Hotel to make way for migrants. Okay, so you booked yourself a luxury wedding in that place, and now they're bringing in the migrants and kicking you guys out. If any of you know cause or just impediment why these two persons should not be joined together in holy matrimony, speak now or forever hold your... Oh yes, my name is Ahmed, and I think you'll find I'm in the bridal suite. This would be the Grade 2 listed Stoke Rochford Hall in Lincolnshire. Look, look at that place. Hey, you guys in the dinghies headed for Folkestone, with the Royal National Lifeboat Institution ferrying you to the express check-in, that's where you're headed. You'll soon be having tea in the conservatory. No lousy tea bags for you. That will be fresh leaves of Lapsang Souchong every afternoon with all the scones you can eat. The rooms aren't bad. Not compared to an overloaded dinghy in Calais or the back of a lorry in Dunkirk. I think you'll have a little more room to move around in there. And the hotel, interestingly, offers what it calls multicultural weddings. So if you're a Pushtun warlord with an eye for the more fetching 9-year-olds at the Lincolnshire primary schools, Stoke Rochford Hall may be able to accommodate you. The good news is at 1,000 migrants a night, we're going to need a lot more. Oh, here's some more. Can we find a stately home for these guys? At 1,000 migrants a night, we're going to need a lot more hotel accommodation, so we may have to requisition your house. The bad news is you'll have to sleep outside in the wheelie bin. The good news is you'll be able to make extra money restocking the minibar and complimentary Toblerones for your assigned family of Somali jihadists. Where are the Tory scum when you need them? As I've said for months, The 1,000-a-night asylum seekers are not just a matter of public policy. It's about whether democratically accountable governments in the Western world, but particularly in the United Kingdom, who look like bigger chumps than most of our continental friends do on this issue, whether governments throughout the Western world are still permitted to have public policy on anything that matters. Here's what Liz Truss said just a fortnight ago.
Willing to do unpopular things if you think it can contribute to a bigger economy.
That's right.
Yes, the lady's not for turning. Although this lady apparently is for turning. She's turning, rotating like a giant kebab in some kebab shop. The courage to be unpopular didn't last long. Ms. Truss's determination to return to the low-tax days of the famously, notoriously low-tax Tony Blair era is now history, mainly because all those faint-hearted, low-cal, easy-listening, pale pastel Tory scum on her own benches didn't want to go along with it. She'd have done better to take my advice and withdraw from the European Court of Human Rights, which would have provoked no such class resentments. Let me know what you reckon. GBViews at gbnews.uk.